Hey everybody, Dean Graziosi. Welcome to the Weekly Wisdom. Okay, before we get started with what I think is going to be an amazing Weekly Wisdom, I want to do a little house cleaning. Last week, someone had posted about they paid another student, 2 students on the site, they paid another student to get some coaching, and it didn't work out. And that's a whole other story. I just want to be really clear on a couple of things. First of all, I built this site so it can be people helping people, where a site you can go to feel plugged into with like-minded people, everybody helping each other and supporting each other. I want people to help each other. I want people to partner. I want people with money to hook up with people with great deals and people that want to buy and hold with people that want to help them do that. That's what this site is about, and it's produced so many amazing partnerships from all over the country, people wholesaling all over. I mean, this is the feeding ground for so many of our successful students, not only the right mindset, but the actual connections so you feel like you're normal. You know, maybe in your normal life, if you talk about real estate or wanting to do your own thing, you're nuts. Maybe if you tell your parents, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, they're like, real estate now, you don't have any money, no way, or a guy off TV, no way. But all of a sudden you come to this site and you realize you are not normal. You're not like everybody else. You are different, meaning you want to step outside the box, do your own thing, and make a difference in your life. And I never could have imagined how amazing this site would grow and how many lives it's helped affect week after week. And I thank you all for that. But when you register and you're a part of this site, you agree, no advertising, no selling anybody anything. And we have to throw people off because of it. Because if you know, you watch me or you watch these videos, I never sell anything of anybody else's. And if I do once in a while, like Phil Tyrone, it's because we vet it, we go through the entire process, we know it, and we'll stand behind it. Listen, I've worked my tail off for 20-something years in real estate. And being an educator has been over 15 years. This site, I think about 7 years. I spent millions of dollars to get to this point, to kind of create the fruit. We plowed the fields, we planted the trees, we took care of them for years, and now we're starting to produce fruit, meaning you guys doing extremely well. And the last thing I want is someone coming in and taking advantage of all that work I've done and taking advantage of my students and selling something. So again, I want you guys to communicate, I want you to work together, partner together, but I will not tolerate, not for 1 second, somebody selling a product on this site or trying to sell their own coaching or getting paid to help somebody without our approval, without us knowing about it. It's just not going to be tolerated. And those that will do it, the least thing that can happen is thrown off this site forever. So let's just leave that to the side. Let's use this site, what it was made for, and helping people grow. Okay, so now I want to get to something I taught probably about 9 months ago, maybe a year ago. It's something I learned in Strategic Coach. And I just did it on stage the other day at an Inner Circle event in Las Vegas, and I watched everybody's face really grab a hold of it, and I wanted to share it with you. It's called The Gap. That's how I was taught it in Strategic Coach, or you could call it Chasing the Horizon. And what that means to me is, can you ever get to the horizon? If you see a beautiful horizon and the sun's fading, go, I want to get to that. You can never get to it because the sun's always going down. There's not one place that you get to the horizon. And I think so many of us fall into the gap thinking, as Dan Sullivan puts it, or this, I'm not good enough, or I'm not getting there, or I'm not going fast enough, or I'll never make it. We get in that funk because we're chasing horizons. And what I mean by that is if you think about where you were, where you are, and the ideal. The ideal is something, and the reason I'm sharing this is because it hits me in my life all the time. The ideal is us being at our perfect weight, eating the right food, reading those books that we should have been reading, spending the time with our children or grandchildren or spouse like we know we should be, taking care of our family, going to church, making the money you deserve, studying all the real estate programs, making the offers you're supposed to make. This is our ideal us, and it's a horizon. We can never, ever, ever be all of it. Listen, I work my tail off to go to the gym at 5 o'clock every morning. Yesterday morning, I got up and I went to my son Brody's school and I read to all the pre-K students because I want to be that dad. I got done, I raced and went and saw some friends who were having a tough time. I got done, ran to work and got a whole bunch done. I'm always doing like we all are. I'm not just saying, oh, me, look at me being great. I'm saying I do all these things to try to be my ideal, but I always fall short. And sometimes I'll go, wow, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, judging myself, looking up at this ideal Dean and going, wow, you're just not doing it. And we all do that. We all judge ourselves against the perfect self or someone else. You see Matt Larson last week doing a video and helping us understand inflation, and you hear he's doing, 50 deals a month and making all this money. You go, damn, I can't even get one deal done. What is wrong with me? I can't do this. Maybe everybody who's talking to me is wrong. No, we're comparing ourselves against this ideal self or someone else who maybe had much more time, different circumstances, or maybe a little luck. Who knows what it was? That's not our business to judge. And here's how you get out of that. This is what I want to share today. Let's stop comparing ourselves to this ideal person that we can never be, to that horizon. And let's instead turn around and look backwards at where we were 6 months ago, a year ago. And let's look at the accomplishments that we've achieved and how far we've come. If you never knew about real estate a year ago, but now you're watching these weekly wisdoms, you got involved in our advanced education, maybe you got one deal under your belt, or you've made offers, or you got a real estate agent, whatever it is, each one of those steps is a plateau of success towards this bigger future for you, okay? You got to look at it. Most people get involved in real estate and they think success is after they do their first deal. No, the money is the byproduct of these little accomplishments of watching this, getting in the right mindset, getting the education, getting involved in our Insider Elite program, or going to a Boots on the Ground, or going to a Vegas event, or being in our Success Academy and taking that knowledge. Each one of those is overcoming fear, gaining knowledge, gaining confidence, gaining wisdom. Each one of those is a plateau of success. You're going up the stairs, and as long as you don't stop, eventually, whether it's this month, next week, or in 6 months from now, the byproduct will be money in your bank account. So look at that with all aspects of life. Stop judging ourselves against this ideal, perfect person or someone else we think is perfect because we don't know all the crap that goes on in their life behind the scenes, and start turning around and look at the person you were and the person you're evolving to be better and better. That old saying, if you're not climbing, you're sliding. Nobody watching these blogs is sliding because you're here doing it. I shared that today because it's stuff that affects my life. And when you get in that funk, acknowledge that you're in the gap, and what you have to do is turn around. That's my lesson for today. I think it's really important. I know I have to practice it all the time to keep myself from going, hey, you could be doing more, right? Okay, one last thing. This is a huge blog, okay, because it's important. One last thing. If you are not using Postlets, go to Postlets, POSTLETS.com to get a deal, to make a deal look beautiful. If you're wholesaling, to send it off to somebody, go use it. I don't own Postlets. I don't make any money off Postlets. I use Postlets. Now, we're working on some internal stuff for us that you're going to love. But right now, if you're trying to tell a friend, a buyer, someone who's going to invest money with you about a deal, use Postlets. It's the most professional, non-MLS listing service that I ever saw. So not only do you get to make this incredible post with great pictures, helps you flow, you get a link that you could put in a text or an email that you could send out. You also, Postlets automatically post your property through Zillow as well. So it's really cool. So your homework assignment is to go, even if you don't have a house to sell, go practice on Postlets. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to do something really cool just because I feel like it. Everybody who goes to Postlets and does it, just as practice, post below, let me know you did it, and we'll pick, and I'll give somebody away a new iPhone 5. Just because I feel like it, because you guys are so awesome, and I want to inspire you to take action, and I have to bribe you a little bit to take action and get in this game and see that you can do this and you have a better tomorrow than you had yesterday. Well, then it was worth me shipping somebody an iPhone for taking action. Whew. That was a long blog, a long weekly wisdom, but you're worth it. I'll see you next week. Oh, I got something really, 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 really special happening next week. Don't dare miss the emails. Don't dare miss next week's weekly wisdom. I'll talk to you soon.